All right, continuing our breaking news out of Metairie, where Sheriff Joe Lopinto giving us an update on the situation at the Lumiere apartment complex on West Esplanade. Let's take a live listen in.
All right, y'all. Thank y'all for being out here. We are at 3301 West Esplanade North in Metairie. Early today, we had an officer involved shooting involving the fatality of a suspect. We had very good cooperation with NOPD over the last few days. They developed a suspect vehicle in one of the shootings from New Orleans. I'm not sure exactly which shooting it was in New Orleans, but one of them. They had given a bulletin out of a particular vehicle that they were looking for, and also I think they issued an arrest warrant for this subject for that shooting for a aggravated battery on an individual in connection with that shooting. They contacted our deputies here on the street who are looking for that vehicle. It's a known suspect that we've dealt with many times before with drugs and guns on numerous occasions. They knew that he was possibly living here in this area with relatives, as he's lived there in the past. We arrived on scene. Our deputies came through the parking lot and observed the vehicle unoccupied at that time. Contacted our set team in order to set up on the house to see if we would come into the vehicle to either try to leave, and then we're going to execute search warrants on the property itself. While they were setting up here in the area waiting for it, he ended up exiting the apartment and entered into the vehicle. They attempted to block that vehicle in which he tried to make his escape from it, running into the back of the fence, turning the vehicle wheels forward, where I had one of my deputies approaching him at that time. My deputy ended up firing shots into the windshield against the suspect and killed him on scene. We weren't sure of whether he was dead immediately, but he is dead here on the scene. We are investigating that with our coroner's office, our homicide section, and our crime scene, who are all here on scene. Again, the vehicle we've been able to learn is a stolen vehicle out of New Orleans itself, which you suspected was the case, considering the suspect was known to drive stolen vehicles, and it is one. So we're certainly doing our investigation now, and we'll be able to release any information, when it's appropriate.
Okay, now Sheriff Lopinto, just for clarification, you mentioned that this is a deputy-involved shooting and that the suspect is the one who died, and you mentioned that he has caused problems numerous times before. Can you clarify that for me?
Yeah, he has. He's been arrested numerous times in New Orleans and Jefferson Parish, many times here in Jefferson Parish for New Orleans warrants. We know he had an active warrant for a shooting in New Orleans in connection with the vehicle that he was occupying today. We were reached out by New Orleans to be on the lookout for that vehicle. Again, deputies did a great job of coming here, playing the area, finding the vehicle, and did the right thing of contacting our set team to come and handle a proper investigation. Unfortunately, as usual with this suspect, attempted to escape from that standpoint and put one of our deputies' lives in danger, and he utilized the proper force in order to make that happen.
And can you confirm to us at all the age of the suspect or any information, or if anyone else was harmed in this incident?
No one else was harmed in the incident. I do not know the age, although I know my detectives have it. I just don't know his age. But he's young, but I don't think he's a juvenile. But I don't have the age, but I'm sure we can get that for you.
And do you pose any threat to neighbors here in the area, or do you feel it's now safe?
It looks like it was no threat to the suspect. I mean, the suspect's obviously deceased here on scene. We didn't have anybody else at large. We have a large police presence here because of the investigation, but not an active scene that we're asking people to stay away.
All right, that is JPSO Sheriff Joe Lopinto giving us an update on the situation at the Lumiere apartment complex. We noticed that there was something happening at this apartment complex in Metairie. We just heard that this was a sort of a joint investigation between NOPD working with JPSO. This suspect that NOPD was searching for supposedly lived in that apartment complex. JPSO went to the scene of that apartment complex where they say he was a known suspect who had many charges before connected to drugs and gun charges and to stolen vehicles. JPSO deputies, of course, surrounding where that person was and the vehicle that apparently they were driving that was empty at the time, as we just heard from Lopinto. That's when the suspect came out and got into that vehicle, according to Lopinto, and attempted to drive off, though JPSO deputies were surrounding them with their own vehicles. Now, as that suspect, which we don't know their name just yet, drove towards the JPSO vehicles, that's when officers opened fire, killing the suspect on that scene. Again, they didn't confirm an age for this suspect or exactly who this person is. Of course, we're getting more information and what charges he's connected to, because we just heard there from Lopinto that apparently this suspect is connected to a shooting that happened here in New Orleans. When we get that information, we'll have it for you on the Eyewitness News or on WWLTV.com.